Okay, enough of that rear suspension stuff for a while. I finally got my throttle body in, the manual throttle body, so now we can hook our throttle cable to this. And it says it's 92 millimeter, and when I first ordered it, I did my calculations and I determined that this one was the same size, but in measuring it, this one is, well, in inches, it's 3 5/8, and this is this one here is, well, 3 9/16. I think this is, and this is over 3 5/8. So that's a little bit bigger. So the I did check, and the throttle body is not bigger than the intake manifold is inside, so we're okay there. But as predicted, the throttle position sensor plugs right in. The idle air control valve cable plugs right in. So all we're really waiting for on this is the fuel rail mounts. And just so you know, the fuel rail mounts are important because each one of these injectors, you know, that's that size. There's 4 of them on each side, and they're sitting there with about 70 psi a piece, trying to push this fuel rail off. That's why, if you ever notice, the seals for the top of the injectors are different than the seals that go in the intake manifold, because the intake manifold is trying to seal vacuum. The top of the injectors trying to seal pressure. So 2 different things. So yeah, so that looks pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with that. I also checked, you can probably use this gadget. There's a few different ways you can attach throttle cable to it, but what I was thinking of doing is using the cruise control cable out of this car, because the throttle cable would have been good for the carburetor. I mean, it would end up right about there, which is a pretty good place for the carburetor, but too short for the throttle body, because the throttle body is going to be, you know, up over here. But the cruise control cable is definitely long enough, and this connection right here will fit on this outside connection here. You push it on, and then there's a clip. You saw the brass clip on there. You slide it back, and it goes over this and connects it solidly to there. I ordered a throttle cable bracket, which is basically the 4-bolt flange with a piece attached for, it's for converting like Camaros and Corvettes and stuff to throttle by cable. So yeah, that'll probably be here next week, but not a big deal. I mean, we're not to the point where we're putting this in yet, so. But yeah, so there you go. That's a little more fun than rear suspension stuff. And I also got a one of these little funky K&N filters. They don't flow great or anything, but it's small. It'll do the trick for our initial setup. And this is a 4-inch bend from Summit. Pretty nice stuff. It was pretty cheap too, and it's a little bit of a squeeze, but it goes on there. Yeah, that's kind of how we're going to run it, I think. Eventually, we'll have to come up with a better, you know, less restrictive air filter setup, but right now we're just trying to get the thing running, so that'll work.